Got it out at 21. I had 2 big old bottles of Demerol,
Oh yeah.
and I was laid up for about a week. And I remember my mind being like, "We like this.
Mhm.
But this is really nice." And there's like this saying in recovery. It's like, and I think Kevin James said this: once you start off as a pickle, you start off as a cucumber, and eventually you'll become a pickle, but you can't go from a pickle back to a cucumber. So once I turned into the pickle, I wasn't going to go backwards. Like you can't undo that. So once my brain registered that with success, it was on from that point. And that turned into doing Roxy's, and eventually led to much harder drugs and, alcohol and all that. So
What's up, my people? What's up, my babies? We are back with a brand new episode of Built by the Red Stick. Now, I know a lot of the viewers that's tuning in right now, they like, who is that handsome guy up there on set? His name is Ronnie Leduff. No, I'm joking.
I was like,
This is...
no big deal.
Man, so first of all, y'all, when you talk about the baddest media guy in the area, you know what I mean? Got the best eye. He got the best eye for food. All my foodies out there that got food and restaurants and this, that, and the third, and you can't find that person to shoot the right angles, to have the right pixel images set up for the food, get at my guy right here. And we are blessed. We are super blessed and we are super proud to be able to have him on camera today. We don't want to hide it from y'all no more. You know what I mean? When you see all the magical things that happen in Built by the Red Stick, when you see the clips coming out every week, when you see the constant content being pumped out, this is the guy right here responsible for it. So I want everybody to give my guy, finna be your guy, Ken Rhea, with Ken Rhea Media, Built by the Red Stick hand. That's the lack of coffee. I'm telling you. I ain't had a coffee yet. But
So it's Rhea Media Group, and it's fine. I
There you
mean,
go.
I told my wife, I was like, we shouldn't call it Rhea Media Group, and she was like, no, it's good, and it's like Rhea Media Group and all
No,
this.
it's Rhea. I love
It's
it.
Rhea.
Rhea Media Group. It is spelled like Rhea.
It is.
It's spelled like Rhea.
It
The
is.
WHEA throw me off.
Yeah.
Man, thank you for sitting down. And,
Thanks for having me,
you know what
man.
I'm saying? Hey, man, it's your world. It's really your world.
I'm just here for the ride.
Yes, man, we are here. So, dude, I was just telling you a second off camera before we get into this. Jade, I'm going to beat you up. Man, I had the scare of my life
Tell me about that.
on Easter Sunday.
What's that about?
So, I had my son this past weekend for Easter. I bring him to back to his grandparents' house for Easter Sunday before I bring my other one to see his mom. Do all that. I get back home. I get a call from his mom. He missing. Been missing for like an hour and a half in False River.
Was it just him, or he was with?
It was with him and 2 of his cousins. Noah, I mean, they gonna say the adults, but I think the oldest one like 18. It's not an adult to me.
It's a baby.
Bill, I lost it, bro. I couldn't breathe. I'm snotting. I'm crying.
Really?
Yeah, bro. Dude, that was so. It's not funny because I just wanted to I cannot imagine the pain that a parent feels that Ashley lost a child.
Oh man.
'Cause that was the closest I ever been to that. And dude, I'm telling you, bro, I was not good for like 30 minutes.
You called the police, or?
Man, we called the police. We had the
Coast
my
Guard.
wife called the wildlife and fishery. They was dispatching people in the water, and then finally they found him and had him coming up the river. Dude, I was not okay, bro.
So they weren't in a motorized boat; they were in
In
kayaks.
a kayak,
Oh,
yes. And you know, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm thinking gators if they'd have fell in the water.
Right.
I'm thinking, whatever undercurrents or
Those
whatever.
Louisiana Gators is no joke.
They don't play. You know what I'm saying? The only thing worse than a Louisiana Gator is a Florida Gator.
It's true. It's true.
All right, cool.
Football.
So that, bro, dude, and then like still hours after it was okay, I still would just get this pain or like just this feeling, the thought of like what if? Like what if this would have turned out bad? So, man, my heart goes out to the parents that's lost a kid, because that was not
Well, and I never realized until, I had a child that, like, intrusive thoughts. You know what I mean? Like, baby sleeping, and I'm thinking, like, well, what if he stops breathing? And, like, all these crazy things that, you hear about. Like, I can't imagine what women go through with, like, postpartum depression and all that. Like, that's got to be scary because they get all kinds of. I mean, I don't know enough about it, but apparently that's really tough.
Men go through it too. They just don't get talked about enough.
That's probably true.
Yeah, man.
Well, I mean, I think I went through it.
Yeah, I
a
had
little
it.
bit.
I went through it this time with my newest baby. Yeah, Kayla went through it too. But man, enough about me. Ken, why don't you?
I don't want to talk about.
I know.
It's so weird being in front of like. It's not that I've never been in front of a camera before, but it's different because I'm on the other. I don't know how to say it. Like,
but in one episode, I'm gonna have to go in your world, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go behind the camera and see all the engineering and sound and lights and angles and just everything else that you put into the camera or into your work.
Yeah.
And so that's a good segue for what I was finna say. Just kind of let the world know the services you offer,
Sure.
who you are, and don't give them your recipe on how you make magic, but kind of just let them know what you're working with, let them know you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's so my name's Ken Rhea, and I'm 39. I own Rhea Media Group, but I'm also the sales director for Complete Weddings and Events for the Gulf South, and I'm also the executive producer for Complete Creative, which is our commercial division. So we handle really, high-end commercials for like Tulane, different companies like that. So that's been really great. But I'm a videographer by trade, and I kind of fell into podcasting. And y'all actually started at our old studio.
Yes.
When I was just kind of figuring it out. I had somebody hit me up, and they were like, "Could you do a podcast?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, I could do that." Because I already had the cameras for it. Tried doing that, and there's a lot that goes into it that I just didn't realize. So it's been kind of a journey to kind of like figure out what that looks like and how to make it work and what works and what doesn't work. And y'all have been. I mean, are we almost at 50?
This
episodes?
will be our 41st episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Are you sure it's not 42?
No, I think.
I think Joe Scott was 41. I think so.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
We up there. Oh.
Yeah. So and most podcasts don't make it past 50 episodes. Well, statistically, most podcasts don't make it past 10 episodes. So
if you make it to see 50, then you are OP.
Well, and y'all are still growing followers, and and thank you everybody who has watched and listened and commented, and it just means so much to not only me as a producer, but I know it means a lot to him and Mike.
Absolutely, and you was right. Joe Scott was 41. This 41. Is episode 42, man. That's crazy.
Number
and
42.
I think when we got with you, it was like.
Y'all had did 9 or 8 by yourselves, or I think Michael was trying to do that. And I think what a lot of people realize is there's a lot that goes into it behind the scenes that you don't really think about, and and finding a way to find the right audience, what those keywords need to look like, things like that. So
and so y'all, just so y'all kind of understand what he's saying, like. Ken is also like our marketing guy. You know what I mean? Like I market for a living, but I cultivate relationships like in different ways. Like Ken finds the algorithms and like plugs us into that algorithm. Like we have the easy part.
Yeah.
Ken does all the work.
Well, they're the creatives, right? Like
but you give us the ability to create.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we literally have to just come here, sit down, and talk.
I'm creative on the back end.
You are creative.
It's a good thing. The way we have it set up now is it's kind of like this real turnkey type of deal where people can just come in, do their stuff, leave. We have it set up with animations behind us, and we have, above us, y'all can't see it, but we have a confidence monitor that has like a timer, the time, you can put notes. So it's really great, especially for like doctors' offices and things like that when they're doing presentations. So
yeah.
So that's really cool.
And then you've taken on new podcasts as well since the launch of Built by the Red Stick. How's
Yeah.
that going?
It's good. It's going really well. We have today, and this will obviously be next week. We have 4 tours today.
That's
with
great,
people.
man. My
Yeah.
dude is growing, bro. I love it. I love to see
We
it.
don't have to get a new studio.
Come on, man.
Yeah. So.
Come on.
Yeah, yeah. Eventually, the goal is that I want to have it'll be a warehouse type deal, but it'll have 4 or 5 different setups in it. So, Built by the Red Stick will have a room. We'll have a room that's more, I guess, feminine. So it'll be a little bit more catered to women and things
Right.
like that. And so we're trying to expand it, but
That's crazy, man.
crazy.
See, I love seeing my people grow. And when I say my people, I'm not just talking about black people. I'm just saying my people that I'm affiliated with, that I'm connected with, because how to say birds of a feather flock together, right?
That's right.
And so if I'm with winners that's growing, my time is coming, baby. So I'ma applaud until it's my turn.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't know this. Like, I am in recovery, so I have had plenty of struggles, and it's so interesting that like today I've done 3 in total. I did the Doodads, which was a recovery. That was Carl Schumann and Brandon Robinson.
Yeah.
I've done Built by the Red Stick, which is you and Ronnie Leduff, Michael Oakley. And then I do Beyond the Struggle, saying a lot. Beyond the Struggle.
Okay, man. Well, I'll do it too. It's gonna happen.
Beyond the Struggle, and that has a switching host every month, but that's been great too. All recovery podcasts.
Right.
So it's so interesting how God like intervened in something like this. Was video was a hobby for me. It wasn't something that I was just like, I'm going to be a professional videographer. Like, I just started, and God has made a way for me. So I'm very fortunate to get to do something that I love to do.
And that was gonna be my next question. You good at this? You're taking my job from me right now, Ken. So you say you in recovery, and and I love the way you said that without me having to ask, because there's gonna be somebody out there seeing this right now that's probably stuck in a certain place of their life, thinking they could be here and it's over now, but it's not. It can only be better.
Yeah.
So kind of take us through a little bit, like that journey a little bit, and then like you say, you just kind of fell into videography.
Yeah. So my first, I call it my first life. I was a chef.
Okay.
And I started cooking around 14, 15 years old, and that particular lifestyle, this doesn't, I'm speaking in generality, this isn't like every person who cooks in a restaurant, but I think they would agree that it's kind of a party lifestyle, like you work hard, play hard type of mentality. And I just have that kind of personality where I really fell into the drugs and alcohol portion of that, just because it was like there was always this need to like have energy and maintain and do all this stuff.
Right.
And I found that in opiates, and so it was just kind of dabbling in them. Parents, medicine cabinet, this, that, and the other. When I was 21, I got my tonsils out.
God, that's late. You was a late
It was,
bloomer.
yeah.
But I was late getting mine out at 18.
Got it out at 21. I had 2 big old bottles of Demerol.
Oh yeah.
And I was laid up for about a week. And I remember my mind being like, we like this. But this is really nice. And there's like this saying in recovery. It's like, and I think Kevin James said this: once you start off as a pickle, you start off as a cucumber, and eventually you'll become a pickle. But you can't go from a pickle back to a cucumber. So once I turned into the pickle, I wasn't going to go backwards. Like you can't undo that. So once my brain registered that with success, it was on from that point, and that turned into doing Roxy's, and eventually led to much harder drugs and alcohol and all that. So, and I've had struggles with that, and it was one of those things where when I tried getting sober, I've been to treatment 3 times. I entered into the recovery world in 2018. When I went to treatment the first time was at Woodlake and Ethel, and I didn't even really start trying until I was about 15 days in, and it was a 30-day treatment program. Didn't really do what I needed to do when I got out. Just I wasn't ready. Went and got a little more pain. Of course, that happened, and then I ended up going back to treatment. This time I was a little bit more open-minded to the fact that, like, I I really did have a problem. And they always talk about, in like a 12-step program, that the idea that we're like other people has to be smashed. Like,
Right.
I'm not built like other people. Like, when I put something in my body, there is no off switch. There's no way that my body is going to be like, oh, we're just going to have a beer.
I think that's what all of us.
Yeah.
That accepts it and not in denial.
Right.
You know
right.
what I mean?
Coming to that conclusion
Yeah.
that like I can't, and I'm fortunate. When my wife isn't an alcoholic, but when I met her, she was just like, yeah, I'm just not going to drink anymore. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't understand that. I'm like,
Yeah,
I've
that's
just,
foreign
I've,
language
I've
stuff.
lost the privilege to be able to do that. Like, I
Yeah.
can't. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter whether, and it's anything really. It's cars, success, money, women, drugs. All these things. Like, I can't do it in moderation.
Yep.
Like, and it's. I have to find a way to like put God first and all that, because He's got to. When I'm driving the boat, I get lost like a kayak out in the middle of nowhere, and he'll be, doesn't end well. So,
Yep. I mean, that's all of us, dude. Like you said,
it's
dude,
too
I
early.
indulge in work. It says too early.
It's too early. man.
No, man, you perfect for this, bro. You got the comb over going. You know what I
Dude.
mean? Everything is good.
I got makeup on.
You got makeup
I
on.
swear to you.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry. It's called being camera ready. All right.
So-
So that's, we don't say anything about actors being on with makeup. So,
So what that look like?
well,
what-
I'm older, so it's just like here,
Hey, man.
Take a good look. These are 4K cameras, everybody.
Hey, so I want a poll. Would y'all look at me different if I started wearing what is called
You
mascara?
don't need it.
I don't.
No,
I don't need it.
you don't need
All
it.
right, cool. Hey, did you see what's the name of it? Did you see A Working Man yet? I don't know. I just had a squirrel moment. I just
Working Man.
watched it.
Is that a new?
Yeah, Jason Statham new movie.
Oh no.
It's pretty good, bro.
Is
You
it?
gotta check it out. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to see Sinners now though. I'm waiting to see Sinners.
Yes, that looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Now, does he really have a twin in real life?
Who?
Jordan. What's his face?
nah, bro, I don't think
That's
I don't
fake?
think God will make two good looking black men like that, bro.
true.
That'll broke the internet. You know what I mean? I don't even think that would be fair for average looking men like me to have two Michael B. Jordans walking
So
around.
to record that is just so crazy. Like to be
You
able.
should understand that though. That's your language.
Yeah.
That
To
is your
do to
language.
do that, like to have interactions with yourself with someone who's not even there.
And not only to shoot it and have it, Ryan Coogler is just a freaking genius when it comes to filmmaking. So not only to have the effects and make it look real, but as for the actor to be able to portray it
Yeah.
like it's real. That's a talent in
That's
itself.
a whole nother thing to find the right person to be able to do that.
See, I did it all the time. I'm bipolar. I have.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I am.
Oh, I am. I'm bipolar too.
I don't know that one's aggressive.
One is where you have like mania and then depression. Like mine is more two. I could be wrong. I could be getting them switched around, but I have the one that is the lesser.
Yeah,
Being just while I'm thinking about it, a lot of the time people are like, you don't need medication. Look, if you have thoughts of suicide, if you think that if you go from extreme highs to extreme lows and you're not just here, go talk to a doctor. That was the best decision I ever made, was going to talk to a
100%.
doctor. And I'm not like, I'm on an SSRI, I'm on an antidepressant, I'm on these things, and it's taken years to be able to get the right combination to like, I'm here.
And I never knew that about you.
Yeah.
I'm not medicated, but I do.
Well, you wouldn't be able to tell because I am medicated. Like I'm
Right.
taking my medicine the way it's supposed to be taken. A lot of people, I think, is specifically the I'm not going to say worser. That's not even a word, but the higher end bipolar, like they don't like taking medicine because it gets, some people, they like that high feeling where they have like that euphoria of that energy and whatever, but that's usually followed by a really bad crash. And for people in recovery, that usually leads to a relapse, which is not good.
Yeah.
Mine is always, I don't know if you're like this, but I always get, my relapses come with, and unfortunately I'm a repeat offender, but like my relapses come in the form of I get bored or I want to reward myself, so I overwork as a supplement to not have to have idle hands.
Yeah.
which in and of itself, I think like workaholism, I think I'm definitely a workaholic. So
I
trying to,
think we all are.
what do you do to kind of like find balance and relax? And
Uh,
if you've been thinking about starting a podcast, we'd love to help. At Rhea Media Group, we're Baton Rouge locals who believe in making podcasting easy and authentic. We handle the editing, prep the social media clips, and use 3 angles and a confidence monitor to keep you comfortable and confident. Come by for a tour. We'd love to hear your vision and help bring it to life.
man,
not?
you put me on the spot, and so now I have to be honest. I don't.
I don't either.
I don't
either.
I don't have.
I'm still working on that.
Yes, 100%. And I just celebrated 6 years sober April 13th.
That's awesome.
And so thank God I haven't had a relapse in a while, and I don't plan on having.
Do you find that you get burned out?
No, I don't. I don't find that I get burned out. But what I do find is that sometimes I'll get resentful because people will sometimes not acknowledge like what I do and how hard I go and how much I neglect myself a lot of the times for the well-being of others. And so I get resentful. But I think one of the things that help me keep balance is I got a great circle around me. You know what I mean? I have people that don't mind calling me out on my stuff, and I also have a connection with my high power as
That's
well.
so important.
Definitely gotta have that.
I'm lucky that my sponsor will call me out. Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. So my sponsor, he'll call me out on my stuff. Even people I work with at Regions, my wife, and I got a great core group. My mom, my dad as well, my sisters. Like they're not afraid of me. So they'll be like, hey, like this, you looking like this when you're doing
bullshit
this.
right
Yeah,
now.
and so it'll give me the opportunity to take a look at some stuff. But just me, like, okay, I need to go, but I don't even realize I'm unbalanced. I'm like a wildcat offense.
I have tried. So nerd moment. I play D&D, and but I've only ever done it sober. I do, and it's funny. Like some of the people I play with, like they'll drink and stuff, And we hosted in the studio, which is super fun because you can turn these lights and they'll do like lightning effects. It's a nerd's dream come true. But I like to paint miniatures now. So trying to find activities, and it's fun. It's relaxing for me to do that. My hands don't shake from detoxing anymore. And I thought, I had Parkinson's, but it turns out I just did a lot of drugs. So, why was my hand shaking all the time? But yeah, so I like trying to find activities that are sober and they're relaxing, and you're getting older when I'm gonna go work on my I'm gonna work on the grass or the shed or whatever, and that brings me so much joy, and I'm just like, oh wow, I'm older now.
Yeah, I'm definitely older. I like playing video games.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
in the shoes heavy.
Yeah,
anybody that know me know I'm in the shoes heavy.
So I was filming a wedding in Texas.
They had on their feet.
So that very Texas cowboy boots, a lot of it. 2 girls are dressed in these really nice not wedding dress, but they were dressed accordingly for like a reception. So they had, I think one was pink, one was blue. And on their feet, they had dunks on that were matching to their dresses. Are you wearing dunks?
No, I'm wearing Jordan lows.
Okay, so these were Nike, like the Air Force Ones or whatever, and they had the swoosh on them. Or those, I guess those are dunks, kind of.
No, they Air Force One.
Air Force.
Yeah,
okay. I don't know.
It's 2 separate suits, but
okay.
Yeah, we got you.
Anyway, they had it. They had it matching to their dresses, and I was talking to the DJ, and I was like, "Well, I bet you $5 they're from Louisiana." And he was like, "I'll take that bet." I go over there, and I'm like, "Ladies, where y'all from?" They're from like Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
I was like, "Shut up!" I was like, "Yeah, you were from Baton Rouge." Yes. I was like, "Dude." It was
we got
so
a swag
funny.
That's undeniable.
Like, I was 8 hours away from Baton Rouge, and it was so funny. I was like, "You're like, yeah, I'm from." One of them said they're from Metairie. I was like, "Yeah, you are from Metairie. I can tell.
Yeah,
I can tell." But it was so cool to see that because we have a style all our own. And for people who don't know, built by the Red Stick means Baton Rouge.
Yep.
We
built by Baton Rouge.
Red Stick. Yeah. So it's French.
We definitely got an undeniable thing about us that you can go anywhere and people be like.
It's been so cool that that's spread to like other parts of the country, especially with our YouTube channel, with y'all's YouTube channel and things like that, being able to reach a wider audience. And we always joke, like, what are you built by? What are you built by? I think it's really cool because it's like, even if it's not, we're built by Baton Rouge, but like if you're in Chicago, Indianapolis, if you're in New York, whatever, like what are you built by?
I've been seeing a few people on hashtag the what are you built by?
Really?
Yeah.
We should include that. What are you built by?
Yeah.
Start doing that. I like that.
Absolutely.
I like that.
So that's another great segue. See, I told you good at this.
Oh.
So, Mr. Ken, what are you built by, and what is your why? Right? You bring everybody else's vision to life. You know what I mean? Whether it be on camera, whether it be shooting, photography, whatever. What are you built by, and what would be your vision to bring to life if you had a producer producing your content?
I don't know. That's a really good question,
man.
I'm gonna have to think about it. I don't know. I know that like growing up, I didn't like mediocrity.
Yeah.
I don't. So being in a restaurant, what the pattern that I would do is I would go to a restaurant, I would learn the entire menu, I would excel at it, and then I would go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And usually I would self-destruct doing that, and whatever that was. So what I really like about doing video, podcasts, weddings, commercials, whatever, I like that it's always different.
Yeah.
So I'm built by the need to have change and adapt. Like I thrive in that. I like being able to talk to people. I like building relationships. And I think one of the reasons that what we do is in being so successful at what we do is first off God.
Yes, 100%.
But because of God, I always try and think to myself, how can I do this in a way that honors Him? Whether they're a believer or not. Like, how do I do it in a way where I'm not trying to rip people off? I'm not trying to, I think my prices are actually lower than most people. So I think that's great. But it's like I'm not trying to, I just want to provide for my family. Like, I'm not trying to be rich and do all this stuff. Like, I just want to make a good life for my wife and my son and my parents who now live with me. So that's a whole thing. But going from addiction to being able to welcome my parents into my home after all of the stuff that I put them through, it's been actually really nice, So yeah,
that's fire, bro. That's fire. Oh, Rhea Media. So what's next? What's next for Rhea Media Group? Are you allowed to talk about it?
Yeah. No, I think we'll keep doing the podcasting, but I really do want to focus on the complete creative side of things. And I have a great group of guys that I work with, because what I do realize is that you can't do it alone.
Right.
And whether that's recovery, whether that's anything in life, like it can't be solo dolo. Like you have to find good people around you that you trust and you believe in and stick with them. And I'm a big believer that, and I've said this before in other podcasts, that, competition happens at the bottom and collaboration happens at the top.
Say that again.
Competition happens at the bottom and collaboration happens at the top.
I'm going to get that tatted on me.
I think it's true. Like, I'm not trying to compete with, I think having competition is healthy and all this, but having people like we're all trying to eat. Like, we're all just trying to provide for our families and do this and that. And, finding people who are doing the deal and then sticking close to them is important.
100%. So you spoke about change. Dude, I hated change, right? Change is probably one of the biggest things that kept me in addiction for so long. The fear of living without this substance that I grew to love so much.
Absolutely.
Right? So what did you have any fears associated with A, not only not having a substance, but B, embarking into a field that you felt you knew little of? Like, what was the fears that was associated with that?
Yeah, no, so I could never imagine, 6 years ago waking up and not having a substance to put in my body.
Facts.
Like, I had to have some kind of substance because I could not stand being in my own skin.
Facts. Preach.
I couldn't stand it. And it gets to a point where at first you're doing it recreationally, you're doing it at parties, whatever that is, smoking weed every day, whatever that is. I mean, and then eventually it goes from recreation to necessity. Like it goes to like this is what I have to do every day.
Yep.
And the thing is like I don't know how many times you've gone to wait at the gas station for the dope man and he's like, I'll be there in 10 minutes and 2 hours later you're still waiting.
Sitting there.
Still
Call him
sitting.
again, man. I can see your lights, bro. I'm about to pull up on you,
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah, dude.
You just
Like,
still sitting there waiting like a dummy.
yeah.
Ugh.
And being like that was my norm. Like every day was like I got to wake up to get my next fix and I get paid on a Friday. I'm like, all right, I'm going to keep a little bit. I'll have money for my bills. I spend everything on that Friday and then it's gone by Saturday.
Dude, I've been there.
Pawning
Dude, I
stuff.
spent everything as soon as I got the check because I have a back balance from what he in front of me to get through the week.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I was literally working to stay high.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Robbing
That's what
Peter
I call
to
that.
pay Paul,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
It was
yeah,
horrible.
Absolutely.
Man, I look back on some of the stuff that I did and the way I was living, and I'm like, bruh, it's no way that I stayed in that long. But when you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I was at a certain point in my using, not before the drugs and alcohol, I was afraid of this. Like, not the podcast, but the way I'm living right now. I was afraid of that because I felt like I didn't deserve it, right? I felt like that I couldn't do it. And the love that I had for my drug of choice was so strong, I put it above anybody. My kids, my parents.
And I would have never
sisters.
admitted that, but I mean that was the truth. It was what my actions would show. And I'm a
Yes.
big believer in you're only as kind of good as your word. And like, I take people at their word. Like when they tell me they're gonna do, like I with me, like I very much, am I perfect addict? No, but like when I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. Because I just lived so long not like that. Like you couldn't count on me for anything. You couldn't trust me. You couldn't. When I said I'd be somewhere, it wasn't there because whatever. Yeah, as a whole thing, man. Like I can't. You're right. I can't believe I lived my life so long like that and wasted so much time. And now, but luckily, I think God has a plan for all of us. And I think if no one has told you this, I think God loves you and he has a plan for you and
100%.
Jesus died for you. And if you're not a believer in that, that's fine. But I'm just here to tell you facts. I mean, believe whatever you want. I'm not here to push it on you, but that's my belief.
And that's three things that I always tell people. Like, I go around to different facilities speaking in rehabs, speaking, and I always end it with, we God's favorite. Like, we God's chosen, right? And I might be biased saying that because I'm in that. But, bro, some of the things that we've been through, no normal person would still be sitting here smiling, laughing, enjoying life, having a good time.
Absolutely.
And, like, we special. We deserve it. And I love you. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I tell people all the time. And I'm not going to go into detail about this certain situation, but I'm just going to put it out there, and kind of, say it in front of the masses, bro. Whenever we met you, or whenever I met you, Mike met you before me. Whenever I met you and we shot our first episode, you may remember some of this, but you may not. And we shot our first episode, and you told us, you was like, bro, y'all have something. Like, this is special. And you said, I believe in a vision, and I want 100% all in. Well, fast forward 4.5, 5 months later down the line, you got an opportunity to show that, and you did that. And you know what I'm talking about. I am forever grateful for that, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I already have respect for you. You know what I mean? But just that was more personal.
Those
what
God
you did.
moments.
Yes.
Right? Where
That
God
was way more personal for me. So you forever got a friend.
I appreciate
All client aside, you forever got a friend for me for that.
No, and I believe in like what we're doing here. Like it's not just like their people or clients, and some clients are just transactional, which is fine. I mean, I get it, we're a business, but like I do believe in building relationships and putting that in front of like the money or whatever. Like that's great and all, but like we're building relationships here and we're telling stories, and that I do believe the dynamic that y'all have is great. Y'all do have a great dynamic, and you see that in the views and the followers and the subscribers. Like it is steady climbing.
Yeah. I think we had like 1.84K on YouTube now. We steadily climbing on TikTok, man, and Instagram, and so yeah, I just had to say that, bro. I
appreciate that,
and I'm
man.
sure Mike will say the same to you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Like from the bottom of my heart. And speaking of steady climbing, I need y'all help, right? I need y'all help right now. All my people that's seeing this, I have reached out to Theo Vaughn. I know somebody out there know him. Get him in touch with me. I reached out to LeBron James. Now that one might be a little tricky. I understand that one may take a couple weeks. I need LeBron James to call me. Patrick Mahomes. I've reached out to Patrick Mahomes. I need Patty my homeboy to call
Jelly
me.
roll.
Yeah. Jelly Roll. All right. And Tyrus Thomas. Tyrus Thomas, the Baton Rouge native, went to McKinley. Folds up, was drafted by my Chicago Bulls, played in the NBA. I reached out to him. So one of my faithful listeners and viewers that is seeing or listening to this, man, tell them people to holler at me. Theo Vaughn, LeBron James, we'll put an asterisk by his name. We know he kind of the playoffs right now. I get it. Pat Mahomes in the offseason, ain't no excuse. Tyrus Thomas, get at me. I just want to have a conversation with y'all. Oh, I just found out, which this is going to be airing Friday, but today's Monday, the Pope died.
Really?
Yeah, I just found it out, like on the way to shoot this.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. My condolences to the Catholics. I'm not Catholic, but
He
I
died on Easter?
either died yesterday or today. Yeah. So I work with a devout Catholic. That would be the word.
Yeah.
And she was telling it to me on my way here. We was talking about MS, and she was telling me that. And so I am ignorant to the fact of the Catholic religion, right? That don't mean I won't sit and listen and try to learn. You know what I mean? So,
dude, being a wedding videographer, I've been to more Catholic masses than most Catholics.
Really?
Like, well, I mean, if you're devout, then no. But I mean, people are like, "Oh, I'm Catholic." I'm like, I've sat through many a full mass, and I'm not even Catholic. Like, I know the intricate works of like how to, because it's hard to pull that off in a wedding. There are a lot of moving parts. There's a lot that goes on. And look, if you're getting married and someone you're doing a Catholic wedding, you know, and that's what you're doing, your videographer should have a minimum of 3 cameras, probably 4.
Okay.
If they don't use them because and look, go look at my work. Like, it'll speak for itself. I'm not going to sell.
I've never been to a mass. I heard.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful. It's just a lot that goes into it. A lot of moving goes on, so you know you got to capture all that.
So, before I let you go, we probably got somebody out there that is, you know, an inspired videographer, an inspiring podcaster, an inspired, you know, photographer, an inspired chef. I mean, you didn't hit it all. What would be your advice to somebody in those four? I'm counting on my finger. I'm ADHD. I'm making sure I say 4 things. What would be your advice to that? You know, to each individual.
And yeah, I mean, I guess across the board, and trust God. He should come first.
That's always number one. Trust God.
Number one.
Trust God.
Yeah, and invest in yourself. You know, I was fortunate when I got into recovery. My wife, you know, I told her, hey, I can't go back. I don't think I can go back to kitchens. I was doing stuff like in my church, just kind of helping them with some video stuff. And I was Chad Dinkle at Purpose Church, and COVID hit, and I was like, man, I kind of like doing video.
Yeah. And
she's like, well, let's buy a camera. It's not a small investment, you know, and she believed she believed in me in that.
Media equipment is not.
No, and because of that, we made money from it. And the first, I think, 3-4 years of business, we didn't make anything. And I was a waiter at a restaurant for a while, and I started to get a clientele, and I kept investing back into my gear. So like, you don't have to. I think sometimes people think like this just materialized all at once. Like this was a slow start, you know, but now we're able to bring really good content to people. So we're fortunate for that. So invest in yourself, and definitely get around people who believe in you, and be yourself. Like don't try and, you know, not be who you are, you know, whether you're, you know, I don't have as much energy as you and Mike, unfortunately. So I like being behind the scenes, but, you know, it's been great coming to do this.
Bro, you did great, though. It was a natural, even with the makeup.
I have imposter syndrome, man.
What is that?
That's where you do a good job, but you always feel like you're not. Doesn't matter how good I do, I never think it's good enough.
Would
like
that be imposter or self-doubt?
Both.
It's
I
both.
think imposter syndrome is like I don't deserve to be here. I don't know what I'm doing, and when like I think the work speaks for itself.
I thought imposter mean to be pretending to be somebody you're not.
Maybe that's how I feel.
Do I have imposter syndrome?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
We might need to get a doctor.
Yeah, I
I'll get a
mean,
doctor on here.
I think imposter syndrome helps push me because I'm always trying to do better.
Yeah.
So I've kind of channeled it in a way that kind of helps. But like, there's always this feeling of like when I look at video, I'm comparing myself to like really, really talented people who've been doing it for years. So when I look at the work that I do, I'm like, this isn't good.
Yeah.
When other people look at it and they're like, no, it is. So I think that's like so.
Hell yeah. And
What's your why?
My why I have a few different whys.
Hit me.
Why am I doing the podcast? Or just why is my existence?
Both.
All right, cool. We're gonna take it there.
Hit me.
All right, so my why for doing the podcast is because I understand that the power of social media, if used right, could be very powerful. I feel like we have more people suffering from drug and alcohol abuse and mental health than is talked about.
Yeah.
And so I feel if I and my co-host Mike, but I'm gonna just speak about me. If I could get on this camera every week and be as vulnerable as I can, help bring in different guests to talk about their struggles and people can see that, right? Because I know a lot of the times when I'm scrolling on Facebook, when I'm scrolling on TikTok, whatever it may be, I see stuff that I can relate to, and you know what I mean? It could lead me good or it could lead me bad, right? But if this content is being pumped out in the algorithm and people like me are seeing it, then we could like start helping people by the masses, right?
Absolutely.
And so it's just casting that wide net of hope, right? That's my why for the podcast. My why for my existence. So I always thought that I would be an athlete. That's just what I thought I was going. That's what I was put here to do. And then I got hooked on drugs, and so I thought my purpose was to just get high and just use and just have fun and just live life. But then now coming up out of that, seeing everything that I went through, the 6 suicide attempts, the 5 overdoses, the multiple jail stays. It's like 23 detox centers and 6 inpatient facilities.
Really?
And I'm still here standing and smiling and, I'm involved in my family's life and, have my kids,
Get to
doing for
have a
my
life.
kids, get to have a life. It's like, okay, my purpose is to help people that is going through that. I don't know the exact number, but the last time I checked, it was like 29 million Americans, which that number could have been way up. So please forgive me if I'm wrong, but it was like 29 million Americans that was addicted to prescription opiates. So how many people you think that they don't have the numbers for that's addicted to the street opiates, right? Whether it be, the heroin and, the all that other stuff.
It's so bad now.
It's horrible.
It's so bad, especially with so I did Roxy's because I knew what was in it. I knew the dosage. I knew that I wasn't going to overdose. Now they're like pressed pills that have fentanyl in them, and you can't even tell. So
you didn't have to worry about
it's
that.
roulette.
Man.
It's roulette
Yes,
every
for
time
sure.
you do it.
For sure. So I definitely feel like God kept his hands on me through all them trials and tribulations so that I can stand in front of the masses and stand in front of people and say like, hey, it can be done. Like you say, just keep God first.
Yeah, and I'm thankful that I get to help tell your story.
I appreciate you helping me tell that story because nobody show it like you, man. You definitely got me in 4K every week.
Trying.
So yeah, man, it's like I don't even work. You know what I mean? Because it's like I have a pure passion and joy for this. I had yesterday on Easter Sunday before my son was lost and I almost lost it. I'm not gonna say no names due to HIPAA and all that good stuff. But I had a mother that got my number from a colleague and her son they finally found out recently that he was on drugs and this, that, and the third. He wouldn't talk to nobody. He wouldn't tell him he had a problem. She freaking out. Like, it was all new to them. They didn't know what to do. They feel bad. They didn't know he had a problem. And I'm like, let me talk to him. Like, with your permission, of course, let me talk to him because I know where he's at, right? Got the dude to agree to go to treatment. He opened up to me like he's never opened up to them. And the mama was trying to pay me. I'm like, God got me. Like, I didn't, she's like, no, you gonna tell me what's your cash app right now? No, man, like this not that. Right. You know what I mean? This not that. That's my why. It's for a complete stranger to open up and trust me because I've been there. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like God put me in that place to help those people that's never met me in a day in their life, but I speak their language. No matter what I look like, no matter what I am now, I speak your language because I've been there.
Yeah, you definitely have a heart for helping people.
Love it, man.
And I'm thankful that I get to like help create a platform where you can do that. And and I think as we kind of we're kind of running a little short on time. Of course, y'all go wild when y'all talk, which is great.
Yeah, we be.
That's fine.
We be in there. We be in there.
I mean, I love it.
In that pocket.
It goes quicker than you think.
I'm telling you, bro.
And I think one of the things that I would like to interact with like our viewers and stuff like that. What do y'all want to see? Let us know in the comments. And one of the things I think currently with like TikTok and stuff like that, you see all the stuff on the right hand side. You've got the share, the save, the comment, and the like.
Yep.
Do all four.
Yep.
That helps. It's based on like a point system.
Yep.
Apparently, I think that's maybe a new thing they're doing. So, if you're a follower or subscriber, that would really helps us out, and it helps to make sure not just for us, but it helps to make sure that we're getting in front of the right audience for them.
Yep.
That's so important. So it's putting it in front of people who are like us, who who knows, they may be wanting to commit suicide that day, and we might say something that saves their life. And that's powerful.
That's super powerful.
And
I know sometimes that I actually did this content help you. Be honest. If it
Yeah.
helped you, yes.
Let
If
us
it was
know.
neutral.
Yeah.
You didn't like it, you didn't like it.
Yeah.
But like Ken said, man, let us know what y'all want to see because we can sit here and talk till we blue in the face.
Right.
But if y'all don't watch it, you know what I mean? If y'all not listening, then we nothing. So we
Right.
very appreciative of our viewers. And, once our schedules get a little more settled, we would like to go live, maybe once or twice a month.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, we did it a couple times
Yeah.
to try it out, but our schedules are so crazy. You growing like crazy. I'm marketing for 3 different facilities, you know what I mean? And so we understand we all work, but like we want to engage more with our audience, with our viewers, because like I said, at the end of the day, we're here for y'all. Like I don't get up here and talk every week just to hear myself talk. Like I want to make sure it is productive, and that it is conducive to someone's recovery or to possibly getting someone to come on this journey with us. So.
Yeah.
We are super grateful for you guys. We love all the comments, all the DMs that I get. I've been getting spotted in public now. Like,
Nice.
like I was at the hospital. Dude was like, yeah, like Bill by the red stick on me. I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's me. you got me. But nah, we really love y'all and we appreciate y'all. And this is my worst time, bro. I hate it every week. And so before we go, if you could leave the people with 3 things, we know one of them gonna be keep God first, right? But if you can still say that, but if you could leave them with 3 things, what would it be?
Trust God, clean house, work with others.
Trust God, clean house, work with others. Hey, you heard it here. Again, if you are struggling with alcohol and drug addiction, mental health, reach out. Talk to somebody, a recovery professional, a medical professional. Like, seek help, seek therapy. Those are the cool things. It's not cool to just sit and just continue to tear other people down and tear yourself down because you are special. You do deserve it. And I love you. Nobody told you that today. I love you.
I do too.
Yeah, we all love you. And as always, we'll be back at the same time, at the same place, with the same producer. Built by the Red Stick, baby. Built by adversity, led by courage.